This morning I'm taking Sylvester-James for his Christmas present, and we're going to Castle Hill, where we're going to get a paint correction and a graphene coating, and we're going to Progres with Bubbles. And Will, who's one of the owners there, will be giving us some details as to what's going to happen to Sylvester. Well, I've got to say that this has been somewhat of an exercise because I've been inundated with advertisements from various different coating people, and I was really never quite sure which one was going to be the suitable one to go to. So I asked them all if I could see a car that they'd already done. Well, in most cases, they all said, well, have a look at the photos on the website. Well, really, as I said to them, a photo of a black car doesn't do it any justice at all. And really what I want to see is a car that you've done yourself. Well, they all refused except for Will at Progres with Bubbles, who was able to direct me to an owner of an HSV Holden, which was also black, so that was a big benefit as well. And I contacted the owner, and he couldn't have been more enthusiastic about what Will had done and how Will had spent 3 days on his car doing the paint correction and doing the graphene coating. So it got to the point that I made an appointment with this owner to go and have a look at his car. But when I got there, it wasn't exactly in pristine condition because it had been out for the day before and it had been rained upon. But you could see really clearly how the paint correction had made such a difference to the overall look of the car. Well, we're off to see the wizard. Well, we're off to see Rose at Bubbles, and will now be able to tell us what's exactly going to happen to the car.
Hey guys, it's Will from Rose at Bubbles here. Today we've got this awesome Jaguar coming into the shop for a much needed paint correction and coating. So over here, if you come over here, we have a look at the paint and it's got a lot of swirling. You can see there's a lot of swirl marks. It's pretty heavily defected. So we have a couple of options. So firstly being a single stage correction. Now a single stage we're looking at using for this quality of paint, we're looking to use a microfiber pad, Rupees yellow microfiber. So we're going to pair this with a finishing polish. Now this single stage, it's going to give us a mix of a good cut with a good finish. Now that's the single stage where it's a good medium, but you won't get the best finish and you won't get the best cut. Now we're looking at another option, which is a two-stage correction. We have a wool blue Rupees wool pad, and then we have a Rupees yellow finishing pad. Now with the wool pad, it's a very aggressive cut. We're going to pair it with a aggressive compound. Now what this is going to do is remove the lots of swirls, the many swirls that's in there, and the defects, the heavy defects in the paint. With that being said, it's going to leave a rubbish finish. It's going to be hazy. It's going to be a mess. But the defects will be gone. That's where the second stage comes in. That's your first stage. That's your second stage. Your Rupees yellow, it's a foam pad. It's a soft foam pad, and we're going to pair it with a finishing polish. So that finishing polish is going to brighten everything up and give it an awesome clear finish. So there you have it. We have your two stage, and then we have your single stage correction. The second stage, it's meant to remove heavy defects such as this. And when we come back, it's going to be as clear as day. You can clearly feel contamination on the body. So before we put any pad to paint, what we'll do is we'll give it a good wash. We'll give it a good decontamination wash. I'm going to clay bar the whole color to make it nice and smooth, remove all the tiny particles that's causing a rough feel to the paint. And we'll hit it with the pads to clear off the paintwork afterwards. So when you come back, it will be a super nice, super slick finish. So after the two-stage correction, before we put on the coating on the full car, we do a little test spot to see how the coating will react with the paint. Now, these graphene coatings, they have added carbon particles. So if you look on the bottom here, there's a ring of black carbon. Now, you shake it well, There we go. So now these particles, if the car paint is soft enough, can actually cause micro scratches to the car. Now, we obviously don't want that. That defeats our whole purpose of work. Now, the option is we would put a CarPro Essence layer. Now, this is a primer on the car. It adds a tiny bit of protection to the car paint that allows this coating to adhere with the paint without scratching. It adds a tiny bit of protection and will make it a smooth process. So if that was to happen, this will be a 3-stage correction, a 3-step, but obviously it's not going to be on Bruce that it happens, it's going to be on us. Alright, we have just done a test spot and really happy with the results. Have a look at this. The paint is a bit hazy, but that we can remove. The clarity of the paint, swirls and defects. You guys saw earlier how bad it was. So that is the haziness that we're trying to get rid of. And over here is the completed half hood. Well, that finish is brilliant. That is awesome. When we were doing our first stage of correction, we were hitting the paint pretty hard and all the defects came out good. But the problem is finishing. Finishing was challenging because on the day before yesterday in the afternoon, the humidity was around 70%. Now, high humidity means stickiness. So when we were trying to use a finishing polish, it would be really hard to remove the residue. You would see this haziness on the paint where you don't want, and you want a very clear paint. And to combat that, we used a variety of techniques. We tried to use lighter polish using lighter pads. We even tried to use spits of water. So at the end of the day, we ended up with a ultra fine polish and an ultra fine pad instead of our regular yellow foam with our medium polish. And as you can see from the results, it actually came out better than what we'd hoped for. So a challenge turned into a success.
Wow, what a surprise. I wasn't expecting it to look as good as this. Just look at the depth of the colour and the lack of swirls and scratches. I don't see any swirls in there. Much better than I could have imagined. This came out alright here. Looks alright. Wow, it's looking good. What about those bad swirls and scratches that were here? That looks good. Will, you've done a great job. I'm really impressed.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Bruce. So over here we have that beautiful, beautiful Jaguar XKR. So we did a full 2-stage paint correction and we put a beautiful 5-year Kraken Graphene Elite self-healing coating on it. As you can see from the befores and afters, that it's been a major difference. It's been completely overhauled, and you can actually see the clarity and all the clearness in the paint again. So it's been revived, and I'm sure Bruce will tell you how amazing it looks in person.
Well done. You know, I keep saying I'm really impressed. I'm not sure it's the same car, is it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you tell me, is it the same car, Bruce?
It definitely is. So the paint is immaculate now, but that's not the only thing we did. We have also coated and protected the interior. So now the interior, your leather, your carpets, your mats, everything has been coated, and it is now super easy, super slick, super easy to clean, ease of maintenance. It's also hydrophobic, so if you were to spill any water or get any of your carpets wet, super easy to clean, it won't even stick. So yeah, it's beautiful interior, well protected. Hope you enjoy it, Bruce. So the doors, the dash, the seats, the center console, I even did your rear seats and the rear carpets and then the mats. So the full interior is done. So as you can see, there is a ton of swirls and it doesn't look so good. There's an additional light. That's yeah, black paint. This is 2013 or 14 Jaguar XKR. And we'll see what we can do about this. It's a beautiful, beautiful car. Look at that. Hood scoop is super long. Kind of reminds me of a Mustang. A lot of swirls and scratches.